Welcome to Daf Yomi Light, a light Daf Yomi shee'ur that doesn't go too deep and analytical into the Sugya. In this class, we'll cover Sanhedrin 14a, which covers some basic principles of Rabbinic ordination and their practical procedures and implementations. Let me introduce with a recap of what the Gemara had said earlier on 13b. Previously, on 13b, the Gemara mentioned that Rav Ashi had stated that Rabbinic ordination is done via calling the student getting ordained by his new Rabbinic name, and the rabbi doesn't need to actually perform smicha, or place his hands on the student's head. Then, the Gemara wondered about the stated number of 3 needed for the rabbinical panel, performing the ordination on the rabbinic students. This number was called into question based on the story that is recounted with Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava. As an introduction to this Gemara, I would like to present this video of the story of Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava.
I am Rabbi Elazar, a humble student of the great warrior Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava. I never thought I'd witness such a moment in my life. Our journey began at dawn, the snow falling gently around us as we entered the valley between 2 towering mountains. The rabbi led us, his tattered sage robe billowing in the cold wind, his face a mask of determination. In his right hand he gripped his oak staff, worn smooth by years of use. In his left he cradled the great holy scroll. We walked in silence, our footsteps muffled by the thick blanket of snow. The beauty of the winter landscape was breathtaking, yet it held an eerie stillness that set my nerves on edge. I couldn't help but wonder why the rabbi had brought us to this isolated place. What lesson awaited us here? As we trudged on, I noticed the rabbi's eyes constantly scanning our surroundings as if expecting something. The wind picked up, howling through the valley like a mournful spirit. I pulled my cloak tighter around me. Suddenly, the rabbi raised his hand, signaling us to stop. His posture changed, becoming more alert, more warrior-like. That's when I realized this wasn't just another lesson. This was something far more dangerous. As we reached the center of the valley, the rabbi suddenly stopped. His eyes narrowed, scanning the horizon. The air grew thick with tension. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest. He gathered me along with 4 or 5 of his other greatest disciples and ordained us as rabbis in an urgent and rushed manner, as if this might have been the last opportunity to continue the holy and sacred tradition. The ordination consisted of the rabbi along with 2 senior members of his rabbinical council calling us by our new ordained names. Rabbi Meir was already ordained by Rabbi Akiva, however the ordination was not accepted since he was too young at the time, so he was ordained again.
Rabbi Yehuda bar Ilai, Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Elazar ben Shemoah, Rabbi Nehemiah.
That's when we saw them. Roman soldiers emerging from the mist like specters of death, their armor glinting in the weak sunlight, their weapons at the ready. Fear gripped my heart. But the rabbi stood tall, unflinching. His grip on his staff tightened, his other hand pressing the holy book to his chest. His eyes met mine for a brief moment, and I saw in them a fire that both terrified and inspired me.
My students, run. Run now, run for your lives. I will sacrifice my life. Do not delay out of piousness. The tradition must continue.
Surrender, old man. You are surrounded.
As the Romans closed in, the rabbi raised his staff. What happened next? Well, that's a tale for another time.
The Gemara asked, is it really true that 1 rabbi cannot confer ordination and that 3 are needed? But Rav Yehuda said in the name of Rav as follows. In fact, that man should be remembered for good, and Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava was his name, because if not for him, the laws of penalties would have been forgotten from the Jewish people. The Talmud then wondered what it means that they would have been forgotten, for surely we could have remedied the situation by studying them. Rather, it means that if Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava had not done what he did, penalty judgments would have been abolished among the Jewish people. Here we are now on the top of 14a. Shepam akas gazra malchus, harshag zaira al Yisroel, shekol hasomai yaihareg vekol hanismak yaihareg. For there was one time that the evil empire, the Romans, enacted the following oppressive decrees against the Jewish people. Anyone who confers ordination would be killed, and anyone who accepts ordination would be killed. Vehir shesum kinba taikarave utkumen, shesum kinba hen yai akru. And any town in which ordination is conferred would be destroyed, and the tikkun boundaries of a town within which ordination was conferred would be eradicated. The Talmud asks, Me asa Yehuda ben Bava, halak vehiyashov lo benishne, harim gedolim, ubanishte ayarus gedolos, ubanishne tekume shabos bane, ushalish faram vesamok shom kamishas kenim, Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Yehuda, Verabi Shimon, Verabi Yosei, Verabi Elazar, Ben Shamua Rav, Avya Mosef, Af, Rabbi Nechemia. What did Yehuda ben Bava do? He went and sat between two large mountains, and between two large cities, and between their two Sabbath Tekam boundaries, between Usha and Shepharim, and he ordained 5 elders there, Rabbi Meir, and Rabbi Yehuda, and Rabbi Shimon, and Rabbi Yossi, and Rabbi Elazar ben Shemoah. Rav Avya adds also Rabbi Nechemia. Kaivan shehikiru oivaihem bohen omor lahen bonayerutsu, omru lo. Rabbi Matehe, Oleka Omar lahen hareini muto lifnehem, Keven shehain la hofkim omru lo zazu meshom, od shehwatsu ve'asauhu keikvoro. When their enemies discovered them,
Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava said to his students, My sons, run. The students said to him, Our teacher, what will become of you? He responded to his students, I am placed before my enemies like a rock that cannot be turned. In other words, I will not turn and flee from them. It was said the soldiers did not leave the spot where they found Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava until they had driven through him 300 iron spears and made him like a sieve. His incident refutes the earlier Brace's contention that ordination must be conferred by 3, for Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava ordained his students himself. The Gemara answers, Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava achreini hava behode. There were in fact 2 others with Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava when he ordained the students. Vehi delo chashev, lehu mishum kvodo de Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava. And the reason that they were not mentioned was out of respect for Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava.
The Talmud digresses now to question the accuracy of the above incident. Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava Somkai, Veha Omar Rabba Barbar Kana Omar Rabbi Yochanan Kol Homer, Rabbi Meir Lo Smoko Rabbi Akiva Eino Ela Toeh. Now, did Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava ordain Rabbi Meir, as the above story suggests? But Rabba Barbar Kana said in the name of Rabbi Yochanan the following: Anyone who says that Rabbi Meir was not ordained by Rabbi Akiva is simply mistaken. This contradicts the story that Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava ordained him. The Talmud answers, Somkai Rabbi Akiva velo kiblo, Somkai Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava vekiblo. Rabbi Akiva indeed ordained Rabbi Meir, but his colleagues did not accept him as an ordained judge. Subsequently, Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava ordained him, and he was then accepted. Well, that is it for today. Thank you for joining this Daf Yomi Light shee'ur for the lightheaded. I hope you enjoyed it, as we didn't delve too deeply and we kept it light. Keep learning, and see you in the next shee'ur.